President Obama has said repeatedly that getting the economy back on its feet is his top goal. But how he may do it has some bankers concerned. CBS News correspondent Priya David is here with that story. Good morning, Priya.
Good morning, Maggie and Harry, and good morning, everyone. Washington has already spent hundreds of billions of dollars to help bail out the banks, but they keep asking for more. Now, some on Wall Street are worried that even more drastic action could take place.
We're going to have to do more to make sure institutions at the core of our system are strong enough that they can lend.
Treasury Secretary nominee Tim Geithner was on Capitol Hill yesterday explaining his vision for how to save a banking system in crisis. One indication of how banks are doing is the price of their stock. Over the last year, Citigroup's stock has fallen 85%, and Bank of America has seen stock fall 82%. Recent sell-offs are fueled by fears that some banks may have to be taken over.
One of the main things plaguing bank stocks this week is the idea that the government might nationalize banks, take them over, wipe out shareholders.
Financial writer Stephen Gandel says the takeover of banks has already started.
We're moving towards a situation where the government is kind of quietly nationalizing these banks anyway. We're putting $20 billion in here, $20 billion in there. Eventually we own the bank. The government is already the largest shareholder in Citibank. In fact, you could already say that we've kind of nationalized Citibank, but the difference is we're not running it.
But few economists feel the government has the desire or ability to run the nation's banks.
What do you think about this idea of nationalizing banks?
Just because you put banks in the hands of government doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to make better loans.
So far, the government's efforts to fix the nation's financial mess have failed. So until something works, the fear that some banks may have to be taken over continues to worry investors.
People are saying, okay, you're telling me nationalization is the last choice. What's the other choice? I don't see it.
The government was forced to run the California-based lender IndyMac for some months after it took over the failed bank last July. By many accounts, they didn't do a particularly good job of it. Maggie.
Thank you, Priya David. Thank you. House Republicans have major concerns about President Obama's plan to bail out the economy, and they've requested an urgent meeting with him. We're joined this morning by Congressman Eric Cantor of Virginia, the Republican whip. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Maggie.
I know that you wanted to meet with the president today to talk about the all-important economic stimulus plan, and you were told he couldn't do it. Is it possible the bipartisan honeymoon is over already?
No, I don't think so at all, Maggie. This is actually the second day that he's been in office, but there's no question. Everybody here in Washington, as in around the country, feels that we've got to do all we can to get this economy moving again. So we're looking forward to going to meet with the president. We met with him several weeks ago, and he asked us to bring him our ideas about how we believe that we ought to best fix this economy. And frankly, President Obama has been talking, I believe, in the right direction, that we ought to provide tax relief to middle-class families in America, and we ought to make sure that we do all we can for small businesses, for the self-employed, and for entrepreneurs. That's how we can make sure we stem the job losses and get back on track. The problem, Maggie, is on Capitol Hill, there's a lot of discussion about ramping up more government spending. And that is a real question, I believe, that we have, and hopefully we can work together with our colleagues on the Hill to try and reverse that. Because we have seen the Congressional Budget Office come out with reports on the Congressional Democrat spending plan, and frankly, that report is fairly clear. The spending plan proposed by congressional Democrats does not stimulate the economy. And after all, any stimulus bill has got to go about creating jobs.
You don't want spending, you want tax cuts. It sounds like you want it all your way. Where's the compromise?
Well, you know, if you listen to what the President Obama's plan has in it, he's talking about providing relief, tax relief. And that is in stark contrast to what the congressional Democrats are saying, because they believe that the bulk of what should come out of Washington is a spending plan, but spending in a way that doesn't have an impact in terms of job creation. Just think about it. Why would necessarily buying 600,000 new cars for federal agencies necessarily stimulate the economy? Maybe a good thing, but why is it stimulative? There are provisions in the bill for tens of millions of dollars or more in providing for weatherizing one's home. Again, maybe a worthy goal, but how is that stimulative? We've got to make sure that we get our priorities straight and create jobs again.
All right, Eric Cantor, thank you. We'll see what the president says at the meeting, which I believe is now scheduled for Thursday. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, Maggie.